Is the universe conscious? It's one of the most intriguing and profound questions in modern science and philosophy. It touches on the nature of consciousness itself, the structure of reality, and our place in the cosmos as a sentient, adaptive species. Let's first look at what consciousness means, why some scientists and philosophers think the universe might be conscious, and what this would mean for our understanding of reality. As we discuss the concept of whether the universe is conscious, allow yourself flexibility in how you look at and define consciousness. Consciousness is, simply put, the experience of being aware. When we're conscious, we feel emotions, we think thoughts, sense the world around us, and have a sense of being ourselves. Consciousness involves self-awareness, the ability to perceive, and a way to interpret experiences. It's something we take for granted because it's so central to who we are and our existence. But one difficulty we run into is that consciousness isn't something that can be measured directly. For a long time, scientists assumed that consciousness was unique to living organisms with complex brains, particularly humans and some animals. But some scientists and philosophers are now questioning this assumption. They're asking whether consciousness could be a more fundamental part of the universe, even at levels we don't typically consider conscious, such as particles, atoms, or the entire universe itself. One idea that supports the notion of a conscious universe is called Panpsychism. According to Panpsychism, consciousness is not something unique to humans or animals, but is instead a basic feature of all matter. This means that every particle in the universe has some form of experience, even if it's vastly different from human consciousness. Imagine the smallest particle, like an electron. While it wouldn't think, dream, or feel emotions as we do, it could possess a very tiny, basic form of awareness. Under Panpsychism, consciousness isn't just found in the brain, it's a quality that all particles share. When these particles come together in complex arrangements, such as in a brain, they create a richer, more complex form of consciousness. Some supporters of Panpsychism, like philosopher Philip Goff, suggest that just as matter has properties like mass and charge, it could also have a property of consciousness. They argue that rather than seeing consciousness as an extra quality that only a few things in the universe have, we could see it as something woven into the fabric of reality. Another reason some believe the universe could be conscious is due to strange findings in quantum physics. Quantum physics is the study of particles at the smallest scales, like electrons and photons. In these studies, scientists have discovered that particles behave in ways that seem to know when they're being observed. In an experiment called the double-slit experiment, for example, particles like electrons are fired at a barrier with two slits. When scientists observe the particles, they behave like solid objects, passing through one slit or the other. But when the particles aren't observed, they act like waves, going through both slits at once. This odd behavior suggests that particles might be aware of whether they're being observed, which leads to the question, could observation itself be a part of consciousness? Some researchers suggest that consciousness might be somehow connected to quantum mechanics, and that this connection might indicate a form of universal awareness. While this idea is still very speculative, it raises interesting questions about the role of consciousness in the fabric of reality. One important question is whether consciousness requires complexity. Human consciousness is a clear and obvious example of a complex awareness, involving billions of neurons in the brain working together. But if consciousness is a fundamental feature of all matter, does that mean simpler systems like atoms or rocks also possess a simple, less obvious form of consciousness? According to some theories, like integrated information theory, consciousness is related to the amount of information a system can integrate. The more complex and integrated the system, the more conscious it might be. The human brain has high levels of integration and complexity, resulting in rich consciousness. A rock, however, lacks this kind of integration and complexity, so it might have very little, if any, consciousness. In the case of the universe as a whole, however, Everything is connected in a vast network of relationships and interactions, which could, according to integrated information theory, mean it has some level of consciousness, albeit in a form far beyond our comprehension. In addition to panpsychism and quantum theories, some scientists and philosophers consider the possibility that the universe itself could function as a living system. If we think of life as involving self-organization, adaptation, and the ability to process information, then the universe has some traits that might resemble a living entity. It constantly organizes itself, from the formation of galaxies to the development of complex life on Earth. In this view, the universe could have its own way of knowing itself, similar to how a single cell is part of a larger organism but still acts according to its role within that system. Some proponents of this idea argue that we might be part of the universe's way of becoming conscious of itself. Just as our brains are composed of individual cells that together create human consciousness, humans and other conscious beings might be part of the universe's larger consciousness. If the universe is conscious, even in a way we can't fully understand, it would change our perspective on our place in reality. Rather than seeing ourselves as separate observers within a vast, indifferent cosmos, we would be part of a self-aware whole. Our actions and thoughts might affect the universe in ways we don't yet understand, and we might find that our consciousness is connected to the broader fabric of reality. A conscious universe might also give new meaning to concepts of spirituality and purpose. Some people find that thinking of the universe as alive or conscious aligns with ancient spiritual ideas, like the belief that everything is connected. Religions and philosophies around the world have long taught that humans are part of a greater whole, and a conscious universe would provide scientific grounding for that belief. While the idea of a conscious universe invokes deep thinking and a more eccentric awareness of the universe, it's not without challenges. Many scientists argue that consciousness arises only from complex biological systems, specifically a central connection of nervous tissues we call a brain. They argue that attributing consciousness to particles or the universe as a whole is unnecessary and unscientific, as there's no direct evidence to support it. Moreover, if consciousness is everywhere, it's hard to test or measure. Science relies on observation and experimentation, but consciousness is famously difficult to study even in humans. It may be that consciousness is more than just a human trait, and that it's a fundamental part of reality embedded in every part of existence. Whether or not the universe is truly conscious, the exploration of this idea encourages us to remain curious, humble, and open to new perspectives. We thank you for joining us on our journey to explore universal consciousness and invite you to join us in our next episode